Hi guys, so a bit of a different one today. The lighting's really dodgy in here, but I do want to start doing like a video like this maybe once a week or once every other week. So for this first like chatty get ready with me video, I'm going to just do a bit about like how life has been recently, and then I want to sort of talk through, I want you guys to get to know me, because there's only so much that you can get to know a person through like cleaning videos and stuff. So I was going to do like about my teen pregnancy story because I had my first baby at 18, like what I've been through with my second child's pregnancy, because oh my god, that was the most traumatic. The labour and delivery, perfect. I had an induction with her, but it was still fine. But the actual pregnancy itself was bloody awful. There was a lot of problems. She's obviously fine now, like, and stuff like that. So I just kind of, yeah, just want to talk about what life's been like while I get ready. So I will also show you like what products I'm using. As I have work this afternoon, I'm only just doing like basic makeup. I'm not doing like a full glam look because obviously I don't really want to be in full glam for work. But yeah, so the primer that I'm using first of all, there's a spider web there. Okay. The primer that I'm using first of all is the Revolution Star Primer. So where to start? So obviously, so why did I start YouTube? Let's start with that. Why have I started like filming videos and posting videos, and you know, what is my goal with it? Because obviously for me it is not my job. I know a lot of people it is, and that would be amazing, but at the moment it is not realistic yet. Maybe it will be one day, you never know. But the main reason that I started posting was because I just wanted a hobby, to be honest. And if I end up making a little bit of pocket money from it, then fabulous. But I just really needed a little like hobby for myself, and also a way to keep myself motivated, because I have suffered in the past with my mental health. That's a whole other video, but we'll go into that in another video. And when my mental health goes downhill, I neglect myself, I neglect things like the housework. So I thought, well, and I could feel myself, as obviously I started with the Stuck in a Rut series, still feeling a bit like that, still trying to apply for jobs within school hours, because obviously I hardly see my eldest anymore now, and it's horrible. I have to work every other weekend. I'm not at home when he is 3 days a week. 1 day a week I can't do school drop off, and obviously I'm still working through school holidays and stuff like that. And I miss that time that I had with him, because with my girls I went back to work once they were about 10 months old. With him, I didn't go back to work until he was nearly 18 months old. So I really miss all that time that I got to spend with him. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy my breaks, and I obviously do enjoy the peace and quiet, but I do miss that one-on-one time, and I know he does too, especially in the school holidays, because the girls still go to nursery throughout the school holidays. So that would be when he gets his one-on-one time. And obviously if that's my week where I work the Thursday, Friday, then he doesn't get the one-on-one time, because that's the days that the girls go to nursery. So I am still looking for a job. But yeah, so that's why I sort of got into it, because I thought it keeps me motivated. If I'm posting cleaning videos like a couple of times a week, then I know I have to do it to be able to post the videos. The next thing that I'm using is the L'Oreal True Match foundation in the shade 2C. So yeah, so obviously it gives me that little bit of a push of, no, you actually need to get off your ass and do something, woman. Just like that sort of thing. Sorry, I keep looking away from the camera, but my mirror is just here. So there's that side of it. If eventually it does start earning me pocket money, that will be brilliant. If it could become a full-time like wage earner, that would be even better, because then obviously I could work around my kids and I could just work during school time and try and get, like, not so much for the 6-week holidays, because obviously I'm never going to get 6 weeks worth of footage pre-filmed, but for like the little school holidays what we have in the UK, where they have like 1 or 2 weeks off I think it's every 6 to 8 weeks they have to have a week or 2 off. So obviously then I could like pre-film stuff for that, and then I could spend more time with them. What else can I talk about? Why I don't show my kids' faces. So I don't show my kids' face. I have touched on this in my videos before, but at the moment I do not show my kids' faces because, one, I am new to this and you never know who's going to come across your channel. I don't have like a follower base yet, because obviously I'm new to this. I've got like, I think something like 14 subscribers as of the point of filming this video. So obviously at the minute I do not have like I do have a target audience, obviously. If like you've seen my videos, you know. But I obviously don't have like a set follower base, because people are still discovering my channel, so you never know who's going to come across your channel. But also, my children are 5, 2.5 and 1. Now my 5-year-old probably could turn around to me and say, oh yeah, I'd love to be in your videos, mum. But that is his decision to make, and as I've said before as well, I won't film in their bedrooms without their... It's a bit different for the girls because they can't really say a lot, so I do film sometimes in their bedrooms, but not like showing anything that's like too personal. But with my son, I won't film in his bedroom without his permission, because that is his safe space, and I'm not gonna jeopardize that. But I don't show their faces because obviously you don't know who's watching. That is the main reason. And 2, they aren't old enough to consent to being shown. Obviously the people that need to see their faces daily, but it's not something that anyone on the internet is entitled to. I think that's the right sort of wording. It's just not something that anyone is entitled to. Like I've said with my eldest, if he was to turn around to me and say, actually mum, I'd really, really love to be in your videos one day, then absolutely that would be his choice to make. Now obviously at the moment I am not earning anything from YouTube, be completely honest. This is just a hobby at the moment. If it ever got to the point where I was earning from it and my kids wanted to be in the videos, they would be like reimbursed. I don't really know how to word it, for whatever they were in. I'm just putting some setting powder under my eyes because that's where I crease. The setting powder I use is actually a Poundland one, and it just says it's just called Let Loose. Obviously I'll brush that off. Oh, I don't know if I've got it everywhere. So yeah, obviously, like, at the minute they're not in my videos for those reasons. My partner's not in my videos because when I first started making videos, he was asleep while I was filming because he was working nights. He's now left that job, which is a whole other situation. But he's now gone self-employed doing delivery driving for Uber Eats, Just Eat, Deliveroo and Amazon. Which actually he's making like similar sort of money to what he was where he was at before. Now he's only, I think this is his second week doing it, but obviously it's obviously working well at the minute. He's a lot happier now. So it's just me that needs to find a different job now. I don't drive, so I can't go into doing something like that, and I think it would be too risky for us both to be doing the same thing in that sense anyway, because you just never know. You could have a point where it just suddenly all goes quiet for months on end. Especially, I can imagine that January is going to be a tough one for us, especially because this is obviously at the minute we're still sort of figuring out like a routine with it and everything. He is out at the moment, which is why he's obviously, I mean, he wouldn't be in this video anyway because it's a get ready with me, but I don't, it's, if he wanted to be filmed, he does help with the housework, don't get me wrong. It's not like he doesn't do anything at all. He does help, but if he wanted to be filmed doing it, that will be down to him. I'm not gonna like push it on him, because that's not fair in my opinion. That's not what I started this channel for. I started the channel for a hobby and some motivation for myself, not to push him to be involved. The bronzer that I've just used, I completely forgot to show you, is the Collection Bronze Glow bronzer. Where's my other fluffy brush? So yeah, what else can I tell you? So the sort of jobs that I'm looking at are obviously like things like teaching assistant jobs, nursery workers that are like term time jobs, so like school nurseries probably more than like just a community nursery. Working from home jobs as well would probably work. Just stuff like that really that I am sort of looking for, and I've applied for loads. I've had a few phone call interviews, I've had one proper interview, but it's just at the minute the job market is so hard, especially in our area. It is really hard at the moment. But it shouldn't be, if I was to like get offered a job, I know with jobs like that you usually have to wait for your DBS check to come through and everything, so it's not like a case of you've got the job, you can start next week. But I am already enhanced DBS checked for the job that I do now. I'm already first aid trained, CPR certified, all of that. I don't actually think I've ever specified what I actually do. I am a care assistant, which is why I do such long hours, which is why I'm so stressed with it, to be honest. I've been there over 4 years now. I've obviously had 2 babies in that time, so I have had time off in that time. But it's just got to the point now where I'm ready for a change. Because before I did this job, so before I had my eldest, the concealer I'm using is actually just a Poundland concealer in the shade Vanilla 2. But obviously, like, with I had Grey, I worked for a care and support work agency. I was made redundant while on maternity leave because the local branch, the company itself is still running, but the local branch to me actually lost all its funding and shut down. So I was made redundant, my manager was made redundant, so yeah, it was fun times. But so once I was made redundant, I think 2 days after giving birth, so I saw them ringing me and I didn't actually answer the phone call because I was just like, I'm learning to breastfeed, I've got a newborn baby, why are work calling me, kind of thing. And so I didn't actually answer the phone to them, but I obviously listened to the voicemail later and they were like, yeah, we're really sorry, but we're letting everyone go. Now, I don't know if that was actually the case or if they transferred some of the carers into the next local branch, which is only in like the next town over. I don't know, but obviously I was on maternity leave at the time, so I wasn't one that they planned to keep on anyway, which is fine. I didn't plan on going back to them anytime soon after having him. I was going to take my 12 months off. But so I was like, right, I'm not going to look for anything until he's like a year old, and then I'll start looking. And then he turned like 13 months and I was like, I want to put him in nursery, I need a little bit of a break from him. And my partner was like, we can put him in nursery, but we can't afford it just on my wages. So at the time we were living with his mum as well, so we didn't have like rent to pay. We obviously paid her some like keep, if you like, but we weren't paying like a full-blown rent bill. But he was like, we can't afford to send him to nursery just on my wages alone, so you need to look for something. I was like, that's fine. We were also claiming universal credits at the time, which at that time, he was born in 2020, so it was COVID. So they weren't really expecting people to find jobs anyway. But at that time, they didn't expect you to go back to work until your child was 3. That has all changed now. But obviously it's not an issue that we've had like at all. So I ended up applying for a few. I was looking like at hours and stuff with care jobs, and I ended up applying for multiple different ones. The care home that I work in, I actually applied for 3 different positions. I applied for a cleaner, a carer, and activity. So I got the care job. Which I love my job, don't get me wrong, I do love my job, but now in this season of life it is just not ideal for me now, because I really need to be able to focus more on my children. My son has a few different health complaints which I won't go into because that's his personal business. He has a few different health complaints, which obviously means that I could be called away from work at any minute because of him. And my son is suspected ADHD. The nursery are querying autism for my middle child. I do agree with the school with my son being suspected ADHD. I'm not too sure with my middle child. I think she's just too young at the minute to put a definitive answer on it. I do see some of the signs, but I'm like, is she too young? So, and it does run in my family. I do have 3 siblings with varying levels of autism, ADHD, dyspraxia, dyslexia, dyscalculia. So it does go in the family. So, but because of all that, I kind of want to be able to be at home with them as much as I possibly can. Obviously, it is not an option for me to just up and quit my job and become a stay-at-home mum at all. But this is why I'm looking for a term time school hours job, because obviously in the next 3 years all 3 of my kids will be in school, so I definitely need a school hours job by then, because otherwise I'm just never going to see my kids again. But right, I'm going to stop waffling now because I'm just going off on a tangent. But the mascara that I'm using is the Revolution waterproof mascara. It doesn't say what shade, it's just black mascara. I can't open it though. And I always use 2 mascaras. Oh, I've got the hiccups. I have also got the Ted Baker mascara. And then last but not least, I have got the Collection Matte Liquid Lip Paint in Self Starter. And this is my absolute favourite lipstick, and I really need to get a new one because I'm running low. I always used to be like a blacks and browns sort of shade. I was very, very into like the goth culture when I was younger. But now I tend to go for like pinks and reds, and I do sometimes like a little purple lip, you know? But yeah, that's my makeup look finished. And I'm going to try and do like a chatty video like this either once a week or every other week. More for the fact that these are quite easy to pre-film, because I'll just whip the camera out when I'm doing my makeup. But I also kind of like, because I am so new to this, I want you guys to just get to know me, and like I want more people to obviously discover my channel, and I want the right people to discover my channel. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you on Sunday.